Hi, I'm Andrew, the Paisley Robot Guy, and in this video we'll be installing the camera mount on the robot, on the TurboPi Hiwonder, or the Hiwonder TurboPi Advanced Robot. Now, if you like puzzles, you're gonna like this one. All right, you really will. There's an interesting order of assembly here. So I'm gonna take the robot and put this guy off screen and assemble the materials. So this is a bracket. This actually goes on top of the robot and it'll swivel the assembly in this direction. Now here's another part in a piece of plastic. I'm gonna use my pliers and improvise as scissors. Okay, so this is another mount. So the camera itself, the camera assembly will mount on this part of it, and then a servo motor will go in here, and that will tilt the camera up and down like this. So you put these two together, right, it'll go side to side like this and up and down like this, in that fashion. Okay, so this is a tight space. I'll get more parts together. Here's the servo motor and the HD camera. So this is the HD camera. We'll pull it out, and the servo motor and the HD camera go in the same bracket, and that is actually a very, very tight space. That's a very tight space. So the best thing to do is to install the camera in the bracket first. So let's get the camera out. Seems to have been packed very well, packed to perfection here. It's sort of a tight bag. We'll get the camera out and then we'll start putting it on the bracket, and there's an orientation here. All right, there's a top and there's a bottom, and like I said, if you like puzzles, you're probably going to like this a lot. As soon as I get this board out of here, pull this out of the package. Could probably use for a real pair of scissors. That's okay, I've just about got the board out of this package. Okay, so here's the board. So this is the camera, it's got a cover on it. We'll leave the cover on the lens. Now, there's a top and a bottom to this, right? So as you're looking at this side with a connector, this goes down, right? This is at the bottom. So here's the bracket, right? And on this bracket, this part of the assembly is the top, right? So you can see how the bracket is angled up like this. This is the top. So it's going to go in like this, in this fashion. And what we'll do is we'll take some brass standoffs and put that in between the camera and the bracket, and we'll get some self-tapping screws to screw, or actually M2x4 screws, not self-tapping screws, sorry, M2x4 screws, and we'll put that into the camera, and then after that put that into the mounting bracket. So here are the brass standoffs, the M2x8 standoffs. Now I'll take my M2x4 screws, so my M2x4 screws, and again, for organizational purposes, I'll take my standoffs and put them in one of my two plastic cups. So here are the standoffs. They go in the plastic cup. So there's 4 of them ready to go. And here are my machine screws, my M2x4 machine screws. So I'll take 4 of them and put them into the plastic cup. So there are 4 in there. And for these, I'll use my precision screwdriver. All right, so move these brackets off the screen, get them out of the way here so that I have a good workspace. This is a little bit tricky in terms of the hand-eye coordination here. So we'll grab one of these machine screws with my magnetic precision screwdriver. Put that in here. I'll grab one of my standoffs I think I'll roll one of my standoffs out onto my background. There's 4 of them. Just got to be careful not to, see. I'll put these back. See, like I said, be careful about them. So put this one in, and I was about to start to screw that in. These things happen. I'll grab another screw. I'll locate that in a bit. I'll grab another screw and I'll locate that before my next video. Oh, actually it's in the camera. Sorry. I'm sure all of you who are watching are laughing. All right. So, hold the screw. Get the brass standoff in there. And start tightening. There we go. Get that in. And I'll use a pair of pliers to gently hold the brass standoff. Don't want to tighten down the metal too much, but okay. So that's tight enough. Now it's on to the next brass standoff. So gently, carefully, without losing them, take one out of there. Use my magnetic precision screwdriver to grab another machine screw. Mount that on the screwdriver. Take this next hole. It looks like I've knocked the dust cover off. Okay. Dust cover needs to go back on. Put this down and put the dust cover back on the camera. I don't want to dirty up the lens. So that goes in. Grab the screw, put it on the screwdriver, get the brass standoff, get the assembly ready, put that in there. All right, I think I'll hold it like this. Get the brass standoff. Get the brass standoff started. These are very small. Remember, this is an M2 thread. That's a little bit, gotta get this perfectly aligned. And at the same time, brass is a relatively soft metal, so I don't want to risk cross-threading it or damaging it. Okay, so I've got that in. I'll take this pair of pliers and gently squeeze the brass. Don't want to warp it. Again, brass is a soft metal. Okay, that seems to be tight enough. And that was on the wrong side. That's a blooper. Okay. All right. These things happen. I'm sure the audience is laughing at me. All right. So put it in correctly. Get the brass standoff started. There we go. Hold that. Tighten down the screw. Hold it with a pair of pliers. Okay, that's tight. 2 down, 2 more to go. So grab another brass standoff. Grab another screw. Put that on the screwdriver. Get the screw in the hole. Push that in. Get the brass standoff started. Rotating it. Hold the brass standoff. Get the screw. Get a pair of pliers. Gently squeeze the brass standoff. Okay, that seems to be sufficiently tight. One more brass standoff to go. Get the brass standoff. Grab the screw with the magnetic screwdriver. Put the screw into the magnetic screwdriver. Put the screw into the hole. it really does help to have the magnetic screwdriver to put this screw into the hole. So put that into the hole, push the screw with the finger, get the brass standoff started. Remember, it's got to be flat up, just like putting the nuts in an earlier video. Put those in tight, get the pair of pliers, put that in here and tighten it down. Okay, so it seems to be tight. Now remember, there's an orientation here. This plastic connector for the cable, that's the bottom, and this side is the top. So here's the next piece. This is the bracket. Now, this goes in here. Now this, I'm going to do a mock assembly, a quick mock-up. This camera will go in here, and then the servo motor, I'm going to pull it out. The servo motor, unwrap the cable. There's a part of the cable. Being gentle with it. You're going to be gentle with the cables. Don't want to break it. See this area? Put too much stress on it, the cables will come out. Now this servo motor will go in here. Okay, so let me show you something. While this servo motor is in here, we will be unable to access the screw holes right here and right here. So put the camera in first. And remember, this is up. So we'll take our camera assembly, and again, if you don't know what you're doing, you could unintentionally mount the camera sideways or this way. Again, this side is up, this is the bottom, right? This is the top. So we'll put it in this way. And I'll have to get some more M2x4 screws. So here are more M2x4 screws. We'll open up the bag and get 4 of them. So I'll get 4 of them. Sorry, I had to double check something, got distracted. Let's see here, that's too many. All of them came out of the bag. Let's get 2 of them. Just tap the bag gently. Okay, now there are 4 screws in there, which is appropriate. Now, precision screwdriver. Again, orientation, this is good. Got the precision screwdriver, and pick up one of the screws. This one's magnetic, and get it started. So put this screw through the hole, line up the brass standoff, and get this screw started. Again, leave a little bit of slop for alignment, because you got to line up the other screws. So take the next screw, go diagonally across from that. You see that? Line up the hole for the standoff. Alright. And get this screw started. So, we're lining it up. I can't see it in this orientation. Hang on. You reorient it. There it is. And rotate. To start tightening it. Again, leave a little bit of slop, a little wiggle room for alignment. So grab another screw. 2 down, 2 more to go. So here's the 3rd screw. I'm doing this one. Rotating it. Got it started. Still keep a little bit of wiggle room for that assembly so that we can line up the final screw for the camera assembly. So here's the final screw. Get it started. And it doesn't seem to be lining up correctly. Remember, the brass has to be like perfectly flat with the screw. Okay, so now it's screwed in. So there's that one. I'll go diagonally. Get this one. All right, just like finger tight. I wish there was a torque specification, but again, too tight, and start stripping out the brass. So it's a soft metal. Okay, so that assembly is the way it needs to be. The next step is the servo motor. So the servo motor will go in this fashion. And here's where the pliers will come in handy. So we'll have an M2 by 12 screw going in this side, and then we'll have the nuts coming in the other side. So I will grab my M2 by 12 screws, which are here. These are the M2 by 12 screws. And I'll grab the M2 nuts that are used for this. In a quick second here. Here they are. So they're the M2 by 12 screws. We'll take 2 of these. Open up the bag. And then I'll put 2 of them in my plastic cup. So 2 of them are there. And then 2 M2 nuts. Take them here. Whoop, that's too many of them. I'll put a couple of them back. Use my trusty magnetic screwdriver to pick up a few of them. So I did just that. This one can stay in here. And these 2 can go into the bag. And I'll keep them for safekeeping. Okay, now I'll take this screw. Grab a screw here. Put this in. I'm actually going to start with this side to get it started, to get the alignment started. That's in there. And I'll grab a nut with my trusty pair of pliers, depending on which one to use. These needle nose pliers or the thicker ones. Yeah. So again, I'll get this started. And this is basically just to help me hold the motor in place so that I can get on the next screw, which is in a little bit harder location. So again, this nut has to be flat on the edge of the screw. Okay, seems to have gotten it started. Okay, take the next screw. And we'll put it in the other side. Okay, so that screw goes there. And I'll take the next nut. This one has to be pliers assisted. Sorry about that. So this one has to go in there. So with that, I need to grab my pair of pliers. Put that in there. These things happen. Sometimes they slip out. Sorry about that. the needle nose pliers. There, got it lined up. Almost lined up. I'm going to attempt to hold the nut flat on the screw and then start screwing in. Make sure it catches. There, it's caught. So get that. You see that the nut is rotating. That means I need the pliers to tighten it down. So I'm going to hand tighten this next screw. And as it's tightened, get it finger tight. And now I'll grab my pliers. My trusty pliers. Go in and hold that nut. And be careful not to scratch the camera assembly. So I'm going to do this from the top down. All right, I wanted to show it to you on the camera. So I'm holding onto that nut, screwing this in. Okay, that is as tight as it can get. I got these pliers on top of this other nut. It's not moving. Screwing this in. That's tight. Don't want to get too tight because I don't want to warp the plastic servo motor. Right? This is plastic, it can be delicate. So we're going to take a pause here, and then in another video, we'll mount this to the top of the robot. Hi, I'm Andrew, the Paisley Robot Guy. And if you like what you saw in that video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. I'd very much appreciate it. Thanks.